Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. During the past week, there have been headlines on a number of newspapers in the United States as well as Israel. And basically they're saying President Trump will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital on a Wednesday speech. Today's Monday. We got a couple of days. Multiple reports. There's one newspaper. Multiple reports surfaced this week that the president would, for the second time, waive a congressional mandate requiring the U.S. Embassy to be moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. He did it when he first came in. He's done it. Possible he'll do it again 6 months later. But that he would take the dramatic step. He would take the dramatic step of formally recognizing the holy city as Israel's capital. That's a huge move. Some of the papers have picked up on that. Media reports continue buzzing that Trump will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and possibly, very possibly, move the embassy there from Tel Aviv. He's expected to lay out his plans in a speech on Wednesday, as we said. The Washington Post shed the most light on the administration's decision-making process. Trump faces a Friday deadline on whether or not to sign a waiver that would leave the embassy in Tel Aviv. Reactions were swift, no doubt. The Palestinian Authority said the peace process will end. When did it start? It's never started with the Palestinians. They're claiming that the peace process will end and sought out an emergency meeting of the Arab League. They launched its own diplomatic campaign while Hamas threatened to renew Intifada, and Jordan said it would strengthen terror groups. Not a good move, not a wise decision for Jordan. And the UN General Assembly's response, what was that? Well, 151 states disavowed Israeli ties to Jerusalem. This is incredible. Meanwhile, CNN reports that the State Department is preparing for the possibility of violent protests outside American embassies and consulates. Israeli Channel 10 TV, cites sources in Israel, and they said there are three camps in the White House with differing opinions on how to deal with this issue. The first was pushing the president not to sign the waiver and start the process of moving the embassy, and also recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. It could happen that the president just simply doesn't sign the waiver, but does recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Second camp says, don't do anything, sign the waiver, and don't recognize Jerusalem as it would harm prospects for the peace process and hurt ties with Arab states. And the third group is urging the president to sign the waiver, but make a symbolic gesture by recognizing Jerusalem as the capital. Lots of talk about Jerusalem, who it belongs to. God has a word on that. Yahweh has spoken with great clarity. For example, in 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 36, he says this, "Before me in Jerusalem, the city where I chose to put my name." God chose to put his name on Jerusalem. He says also in 1 Kings 14, verse 21, "Jerusalem, the city Yahweh had chosen out of all the tribes of Israel in which to put his name." That means he owns it. It belongs to him and who he allows and chooses to occupy it, to live in it. And he has chosen the Jews. Prophet Isaiah says this in Isaiah chapter 62. He says, "For Zion's sake I will not keep silent. For Jerusalem's sake I will not remain quiet. Till her righteousness shines like the dawn and her salvation like a blazing torch." That has to take place. That's not taken place yet. It has yet to occur. The prophet says also in Isaiah 62 verse 6, I have posted, this is God speaking, I have posted watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem. They will never be silent day or night. You who call upon Yahweh, you who call upon Yahweh, give yourselves no rest, no rest. Give yourselves no rest and give him no rest until he establishes Jerusalem. Even Jesus spoke of the state of Jerusalem. In Matthew chapter 23, verse 37, he says, oh Jerusalem, it's though he's got tears in his eyes as he says this, oh Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you. How often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. Look, your house, O Jerusalem, is left to you desolate, spiritually desolate. And it will remain that spiritual condition until Jesus comes. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. Yahweh bless you, bless those you love, bless those who love you.